Welcome to another episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. It's Jared, it's Carl, it's Arthur, it's Bonte, and we have a special guest joining us this evening.
Hey, what
yes,
the hell?
Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Jet, known as Jet MDK. I do, just talk about NASCAR racing in general on YouTube and TikTok. So, thank y'all especially you, Bonte, for the 1 hour notice.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
That's on brand for him.
Hey, this is my first time, so don't
him.
start, Carl.
Hey, you hear that, Carl?
And
He has a
Jet
TikTok.
What's crazy is he was talking about this yesterday.
He was.
So the assumption was that he reached out to you yesterday.
Wait. You told us yesterday, and now.
Yeah, he told us
he
yesterday.
I
He didn't tell you.
Forgot. That's my bad.
So when I checked the chat today, I just assumed that you already know, because I said to myself, "Wow, that's a quick turnaround. Normally, we don't get famous people like the same week. It's usually like a couple of weeks. We got to schedule it out." And then I saw that, and I was like,
Yeah, that's my bad. I'll take full responsibility for that. No, I'm
I
saying
keep
it's
telling
all
Bonte
good.
he has the pull of gods, but he doesn't believe me. You really unearthed this man's schedule to get here, and then you gave him an hour notice.
Nah. Hey, listen, anything to support y'all. All right, y'all lucky I had nothing to do today, but yeah. Nah,
Bonte lucky. He's the one be on the hook.
Right.
that's
yeah.
my bad.
He's the one who overpromised about to underdeliver.
Yeah, I did undeliver that.
Typical.
What
Bonte
happened
fashion.
again? I blame Jared for that. Move on.
All right, let's get the train back on the rails. So Jet, tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into the sport? And if you have a favorite driver, past or present, who would that be and why?
Well, let's start with how I got into racing. So I knew about F1 through my dad. My dad was born in Germany, so I knew about F1. And growing up, my favorite movie was Cars. I would constantly watch that movie over and over and over again. And one night, I was like 5 or 6 years old, I stumbled onto a race, and it was a 2009 Bud Shootout Daytona. And it reminded me so much of the movie Cars, just like under the lights, bright, colorful cars. And then a crash happened, and I was hooked. And originally, my favorite driver was Jimmy Johnson, just because I liked his paint scheme that he ran that year. And also, when I would go with my dad to the Lowe's hardware store, I would see his face up on that giant sign that they would have before you leave the store. My dumbass thought he actually worked at the Lowe's. So I would always convince my dad, listen, we got to go to the Lowe's because he may be there. It wasn't so later I'm like, no, he doesn't work there. He just sponsors it. But I've been a Jimmy Johnson fan throughout my entire time. And now, obviously, when Bubba came on board, I'm like, all right, got to pull for Bubba. So Bubba's been my guy since day one.
Jimmy
Trying
fan.
to catch him on that weekend shift.
That's cheating, man.
What's cheating?
His fandom is cheating.
No, because it's fine. It's fine because, like, in the same way, I guess Art had Jeff Gordon. I guess the younger fans had Jimmy Johnson. But looking back now,
Aren't I older than you?
Yes, what I said. I wasn't talking about me.
Oh, okay. You said
Yeah.
younger fans. I was like, wait a minute.
I was talking about Jet. Yeah, it's just like the older fans had Jeff Gordon. And the younger fans,
I didn't get into it because he had a good scheme. I had no idea that he was a 3-time consecutive champ at that time. I didn't know.
The 09 low scheme was probably
Goated.
Probably one of my favorites. And I hated it because at that point, I was 3 years into watching it win I'd been watching longer than that, but by that point in time, we were 3 years into like his reign of terror, and I but looking back, I was like, that was a really good scheme. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say him winning though, that they kind of helped me say it.
I bet it did.
Yeah, I bet.
Picked
Yeah.
the right time.
Yeah. Just like somebody saying they became a fan of the Patriots in 2008. Like, all right, well,
Art.
Wow. Convenient.
Art, throw you on the bus.
08? Incorrect, but okay.
Was it 07, I guess. It was 07, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go back, tell 10-year-old me that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Imagine rooting against the Panthers while living in North Carolina in the Super Bowl, man. I'll tell you. If I was older, they would have put hands on me.
That's
probably would have stopped a lot of what's going on today. But anyway, let's.
Hey, I hate you.
I guess we'll start the show on that note.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and get the party started. So we'll rewind to Friday evening, the truck race. Corey Heim. That's funny. Corey Heim was, man, I don't know what they got going over there, but they cooking. I was peeping into Action Detrimental earlier. Apparently Denny had some sim time with Corey this week for a little bit just to see how he go from great to greater. And boy, golly, did he have a butt whooping on his hands until he got touched, got his tire cut, and then Daniel Hemrick gives us a backflip, a la Carl Edwards, and wins his first Truck Series race in the same truck that Christian Eckes. I cannot talk tonight. Christian Eckes won in last season.
And LaJoy turned down.
Yeah,
Right.
that was the only note for the truck
Just
race.
for
I
him.
didn't watch at the end of it, but yeah,
Just for him and this on lower tier.
Well, that's
You
that's
know-
all you needed, Carl. So I'll let you go first since you want to talk about you didn't watch it. Tell us about the truck race. What are your thoughts?
I was about to say, if you talk about you didn't watch it, like I had a choice in the matter. Anyway,
You always got a choice.
I don't even know what I was doing Friday night. Anyway.
You know what? Hang on a second. You asked if you
my
should watch the
God.
race and then said never mind.
You had the highlights.
I think. Well, I was out and about doing something, I believe, and I don't know. And then I think like I was gonna check and see if the truck race was any good, and then I think I saw like Raj was like in like 37th, and I was like, never mind, forget it. And
all right, bro.
and well, I don't think I was at home, but regardless, no, I just want to say that everybody on Twitter made the point about Corey LaJoy like making fun of like being in that truck and being in the truck series, and I don't want to race in front of 17 fans, despite the fact we haven't seen him since Atlanta. But also, I was like, y'all are giving him too much credit because he probably wouldn't have won in that truck either. He probably screwed that up too.
That's
So
right. He's
I
right.
mean, he's got a point there. I'd rather choke in front of 100,000 people than choke in front of 50,000 in a truck crowd. I don't know, but so.
Or he
Dog
could just
water.
not choke at all. If he had actual talent.
Well, that's his dad. That's not him. So.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Start this episode out of insane.
All right, what's your thoughts on the truck race?
I just feel like this is another one of those Corey Heim races where it seems like it's in the bag. I was prepared to come on here and just say, it was an ass whooping, and the racing gods have not been kind to this man the last couple weeks. I think outside of that, I mean, there really wasn't a ton to talk about. I think the only real takeaway for me was just how Daniel Hemrick winning just felt like a good guy win. Like I feel like between Larson and some of these other people that we're going to talk about who won this weekend and other past races, sometimes you left with just like a bad taste in your mouth after you watch a race. But you watch Daniel win, right? No one's upset about this. I saw a lot of the other drivers in the garage on Twitter happy, hyped up after that race. So you got a good ending out of it. And I guess considering the next night, that's about all you could ask for.
Shout out that one old boy on Twitter that's like a big Daniel Hemrick fan. What's his name? DeMarion, I think.
I don't know.
Bonte, you know everybody. You should know.
I don't know who he is, bro.
There's one account that like when they made that announcement, everybody was like, Daniel Hemrick going to Truck Series, and he was like quote tweeting everybody like, you'll see. And you know what? The haters are right. He was right. We in fact did see. So shout out to him for being a devout Daniel Hemrick fan.
Yeah,
How can you hate Daniel Hemrick,
That's
Carl?
what I'm saying.
I don't hate him. I mean, I think everybody was looking at like, what has he done? And it was just like,
He's
well,
an
I guess we'll
Xfinity
find
Series
out.
champion.
I guess he could, finish
he
second place a bunch. That counts
Hell,
for
he
something
done
in your
more
book.
shit than Corey LaJoy ever did. No,
You keep confusing me for Jared on the Sheldon Creed in second place thing, and I'm about to say something not so nice about it. We've had this conversation.
Well, brother,
Bonte, what are your thoughts on the truck race?
it was decent, not too. I would say it was calm though. It was more calmer than Saturday, despite Corey Heim getting speared out of nowhere. But genuinely happy for Daniel Hemrick. Hope that man get more wins because that is a damn good driver. I don't care what nobody says. Really damn good driver. Butter and all. It was a clean. It was a clean, decent race. Way better than the Saturday. Yeah.
I'm tired of y'all's foreshadowing when we're not there.
Shut up, Jared.
Chet, what were your thoughts on the truck race? Did you like what you saw?
I mean, yeah, I thought it was. I also thought I was expecting more chaos, so I was kind of happy that it was a bit more chill. I think, like you mentioned, Arthur talked about how the racing guys is always giving bad luck. I think that's a sign for him to be out of trucks. I think that's a sign for him to get out of trucks and move up, because I mean, the whooping he's been putting on the field this year, I don't know why this man has not had a ride for Xfinity yet, and he should have one next year. So. But other than that, like everyone else said, Daniel Hemrick, I mean, you can't say anything bad about the guy. He just, I don't know. He hasn't done anything to, I think, piss anyone off. Hasn't done anything real bad to make anyone mad. You just can't be nothing but happy for him. So I was glad he was able to stick the landing, because when he was jump off that roof, I didn't realize how tall a truck roof was, and I was worried he was going to land on his ass.
NASCAR fans, warmer weather, roaring engines, and victory lane vibes. It must be NASCAR season. Picture this. You've had an adrenaline-packed day at the track. Now you're kicked back by the pool, soaking up the sun, and you're looking to sip something that hits just right. Meet the Ounce of Hope's 5 milligram THC seltzer, a refreshing alcohol-free way to unwind with a light buzz and zero hangover. At just $5 for a 16-ounce can, it's the only THC seltzer of its kind on the market, and the best deal you'll find. Cheaper than a cocktail at your favorite pit stop. Whether you're winding down after the race day or vibing on a breezy summer night, choose from 4 delicious flavors: peach, cherry, lime, or berry. Ounce of Hope is the trusted cannabis company in Memphis and in all of Tennessee. Ounce of Hope ships federally legal THC and CBD products nationwide, and also offers a variety of edibles like mushroom gummies, chocolates, and Rice Krispie treats, plus topicals and oils, all grown and crafted in Memphis, Tennessee, for quality you can trust. So, if you're over 21, ready to elevate your race weekend or any weekend, check out ounceofhope.com and use promo code VICTORY for 20% off your first purchase. That's ounceofhope.com, promo code VICTORY for 20% off. Yeah, he got out of the truck and he looked behind him. I was like, what's he about to do with that? Then he flipped. But he, like, the way he landed a little too far forward. I thought, oh, he about to knock his front teeth out. But he landed it, so he stuck the landing. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Simone Biles, but I give you A for effort. But yeah, that was a crazy celebration. So I guess that just goes to show how strong the 19 team is. No Christian Neckish, no Charlton Ike, sticker on the truck, ready to compete for a championship. And if we know anything about Daniel Hemrick, he can win when the right time. When the lights are on, he can cash out. So I'm interested to see how the rest of this truck season plays out. Did Corey Day die? And I don't mean literally, but like, didn't he wreck?
Yeah,
We need to stop the Raja Karuth duplicate schemes. This is proof in the pudding. Spire Motorsports. Let Raj have the HendrickCars.com truck and no one else, because no one else does good with it. I think William Byron wrecked too. He had an abysmal night as well.
Oh, man. You know what you just reminded me of, Jared?
What was it?
That post our friends made about about there was no way that that William Byron and Kyle Larson should be out running Rush, and that he had a different. I forgot all about that till this moment. We'll have to explain that to Jed after the fact.
Yeah, we'll have to tell that joke later.
Were you in that? Were you in that special that NASCAR did like 2 years ago at Atlanta? I thought I remember you being a part of that.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, that's how I know you ain't do your research.
No. I think that's Darian you're talking about.
Well, yeah, but I thought there was more than one YouTuber as a part of that one, which is only two. Never mind, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later. It's fine.
We'll fill you in post.
Yeah, we'll fill you in post. Yeah.
And I guess
God.
I don't know why you guys are embarrassed, because it's actually really, really funny. He's going to find a joke out of it.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious.
No, I just love how he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were the other YouTuber, the other black NASCAR YouTuber."
Wrong one, man.
There's dozens of us.
There's
Right.
there's
It's a whole bunch
look,
of blacks out here reporting on
look,
NASCAR.
man, I have the brain
There's
of a
the 5 damn
58.
faces doing it.
I have the brain of a 58-year-old with a bad drinking habit. Excuse the hell out of me.
Oh my god.
Got to give up that grain alcohol, big dog.
Hell no. Anyway, let's keep going.
So we'll move forward to everybody who was just so excited to talk about the Xfinity race.
Oh yes.
So boring, skip. Late race restart creates chaos again at Martinsville, and the two people that can't seem to get enough of each other finish 1 and 2 again. The worst person you know, Austin Hill, gets another sticker on his damn car, and the self-proclaimed can't close Creed, Arthur, finishes second.
You have to learn how
One
words
more
work
time.
because that's not what self-proclaimed means.
You call him that. I don't call him that. He's a
No, stop.
greatest
Time out.
No.
Time
cooking.
out, bro.
Yeah.
Words have meaning.
He's a
You
legend.
cannot.
Jared, don't forget Art's guy, Mr. Sam Mayer.
Oh yeah, we get to talk about the terrorists on track.
All right, Art.
Sam Mayer.
Self-proclaimed.
Learn stalling
Self-proclaimed.
together, man.
But let's get into it. Arthur, I'll let you start it.
Yes.
Your
There's gonna
thoughts
be-
on the Xfinity race?
I just want you to know at the off week, there's going to be a SAT. You got to pass to come back to the show. There's a vocab waiting for you. This is a race where I feel like Connor kind of has the same Corey Haim look, right? Like I feel like, is he just not allowed to win anymore? Like he can just destroy the field for the first 2/3 of the race, and then he doesn't get to play anymore. He got wrecked twice, right? Like I think he got spun once, and then he got like the dog food wrecked out of him later
He got
on.
spun once, and then they got shuffled to the back on whatever that pit strategy was there in the second stage, and they got wrecked again.
Yeah, I really want to see him do well. I mean, it's not like he sucks. Like he was crushing it for a long time,
Man, it was insane.
and just bad luck. I mean, it's not even anything he did wrong. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this race will be remembered for one thing and one thing only, and it's Sammy Smith. He went full Austin Dillon. Never go full Austin Dillon on Tanner Gray going into 3 on the last lap. I mean, it's
Tanner?
gross. Was it Tanner or Taylor?
Taylor.
One of them gray boys. I don't know.
The talented one, I think.
All right, good
Oh
enough for
Lord,
me.
let me find it real quick. Jesus Christ.
What?
What do you have to do? Why do you
It's
sound so
called-
busy?
It's called looking up the NASCAR app to see
He
the
got
results,
5
see the names.
phones. Just let him do it. Just keep going.
I have
He
3
does.
phones. First of all, don't
That doesn't help your case.
gives a fuck. You be alright.
Continue, Arthur.
Continue, Art. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, it's just gross, right? Like I don't think besides the Austin Dillon move and maybe the Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, Martinsville incident have I seen a move as universally hated, maybe. And I don't even think, I think it's probably above Kenseth, honestly, but everyone and their mama was bad mouthing this move. They talked about it on the Sunday broadcast. They had Parker in the booth saying, "Kids, don't try this at home. Like, don't do this if you want to make it to the big leagues." So I'm just really interested to see what they do, if anything's going to happen out of this. I mean, I feel like if you want to stop this, that's you park them for a week. I feel like it's not a right hook, but to me, that's above and beyond a bump and run. So I'm just really curious in terms of what happens after this race, right? And yeah, I mean, he wrecked a bunch of people, like destroyed probably a dozen cars afterwards, and it's like it's the last corners, guys. Let's just get it home in one piece. And yeah, he let Austin Hill win. I mean, what's worse than that, honestly? Yeah, I feel like somebody needs to stay home and watch on TV with the rest of us next week. That feels like something appropriate. But knowing NASCAR, he'll get a $20,000 fine or something and a slap on the wrist.
I was going to save this question, but I'll pose it to you. I'll pose it to all of you all now since we're on the subject. So, as you know, the drivers that bring money get to drive the cars. What ramifications do team owners have to sort of police this behavior? Do you sit them? Do you fine them as team owner? Like, do you fine them a monetary fine for causing $100,000 in crash damage? Like, what do you think a team owner could do in a situation like this to sort of cut down on the craziness at the end of the race, these Hail Mary passes, these demolition derby style wrecks? Like, do you think there's anything a team owner could do if you thought from that perspective? How will you cut down on the damage bill?
The only thing I can think of is you got to park. I mean, you got like, I understand, they bring in the money. I get that, but at some point in time, you got to put your foot out and you got to park them. Know that, hey, you can't be doing this shit. You can't just be going around just wrecking drivers and expect that, oh, next week, it's like a video game. Oh, get a new car next week, everything will be fine. Like, no, man, people spent, hours working on these cars. And if you don't appreciate that, okay, fine. You're going to act like a child. We're going to treat you like a child. Simple as that. Part of me feel like I think NASCAR knows that they have to do something. Part of me feels like they will do something about it. I don't know about a suspension. I think we're going to be realistic. I would expect like a fine and a point penalty, even though points really don't matter in today's NASCAR. But that's really all I can expect from them. But as a team owner, like, I don't care for bringing the money. You got to put your foot down and tell these kids that, listen, you cannot be doing shit like that. I understand a win is all that, but you didn't get the win. Sammy Smith said, hey, I got to do what I had to do. What the hell does that even mean? What did you mean? You did not have to do that. You could have gotten $100,000, had a pretty clean race car, second place, could have got good points. Instead, you finished 10th. You cost your teammate a shot at the dash for cash. Now you got hundreds of $1,000s even more in damaged race cars. So now that's another more that Dale Jr. and Kelly Arnold have to cover. And you let a rival take home the win. So now you just look stupid. And on top of that, now you just lost the respect of all the cup drivers in the garage. So if your last was trying to look for a job, guess what? You just lower your shots at that happening. So you just need to use their damn heads. It's just, it's simple. Like, even if we ain't race car drivers, we have this thing called common sense. We know, that you just don't do shit like that. And even during that back straightaway, when I saw Taylor Gray get about, 2 car lengths ahead, I knew for a second, for some reason, I just knew, Smith's he's gonna wreck him. There's no way he's going to just settle for second. The way these drivers were acting the entire race, I knew like the only way this had to end, it was some bullshit like that. Just dump the leader and take yourself out. That's why I said this race ended perfectly. For the bullshit that happened, of course it ended like that.
Carl, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, it's pretty straightforward, in my opinion. I mean, in an ideal world, right? When you do stuff like this, you get the Eric Almirola treatment, and you get suspended, and then you have to watch people, for doing something stupid, and you watch other people run the races that your sponsor or you or whoever paid for. I mean, that should be kind of a contractual deal wherein, even if I bring money to a team, I have to sign something that says, look, if I do something egregious that brings down the entire marketability of the team, or makes us all look bad, that I could be punished by having to sit out some races on the end of, on the end of the team or whatever. The team pull me out of the car because what you don't want to happen, and it's going to take is for NASCAR to over police this, to stop it from happening, because we see it every single time, especially at Martinsville. I feel like a lot of road courses are really like the two, major players of that happening. Bristol maybe a little bit. But, I thought about this question today and yesterday when I thought we were going to do the show yesterday. And I got to say, man, I don't, as much as I hate it, I can't blame these kids that this keeps happening, because they came up in a system where, like, I mean, second place quite literally does not matter. It's just a stat line, right? Like it doesn't matter anymore. And I mean, because the thing is like, we love to pretend like this is a new thing, but like the moment that NASCAR like said go, and we went to a playoff system where it was win and you're in, this started happening, right? Like, I think about, like, you talk about like the gunshot heard around the world. I think that started with Ryan Newman like shoving Kyle Larson out of the way for a spot at Phoenix in 2014. That was the beginning of it. This isn't a new problem. And it's only getting worse because these kids come up in this era where like points racing really doesn't matter anymore. Because at the end of the day, we've had guys for the last 10 years. We've had the playoffs. We've come down to the last race of the regular season. They've had a great points year, but guess what? No wins. And some jackass in 28th in points wins the race on a fluke. And guess what? They're in the playoffs, and that person isn't. And as we know, the playoffs, I mean, have major financial implications for teams across all three series. So it's like, okay, like yeah, it was a terrible move on behalf of Sammy Smith. I have a buddy that drives for TMC, and I texted him today, and I was like, y'all need to sit him down on one of y'all safety meetings because yeah, have something, and because he watches NASCAR too, and he knows about Sammy Smith and the TMC sponsorship and all that stuff, and I give him shit for it. But yeah, man, I mean, that was a terrible deal. I think I think the team should look at self-policing because they don't want NASCAR to get involved because anytime NASCAR touches anything, they go too extreme one way or the other. But at the same time, I'm tired of pretending like this is a new problem. It's not. This is a monster that's been 10 years in the making. And everybody that has started a cup race or an Xfinity race or a truck race from then to now is culpable to some degree in what took place Saturday night. I'm sorry. And I got kind of annoyed at watching guys like Denny Hamlin, get on their high horse about it.
Hurt.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a bit opposite. I feel like NASCAR has to step in because I think that makes it an easier decision, honestly. Because if let's say you're hypothetically, a smaller team and you have all your sponsorship tied up with this one guy that you've got in the seat, it's a lot harder for them to have to go hat in hand to those sponsors and say, hey, I know you paid me a lot of money to see, this guy drive the car with your name on the hood, but I got to pull him this week because of ethics, because of morals. Like, I just feel like that's a much harder position to be in than saying, hey, look, our guy messed up, we're going to have this backup to drive. I just feel like you have to have someone to oversee it because it's clear that the whole self-policing thing hasn't worked for a long time. And I do think Carl is spot on about the whole when in you're in thing has exacerbated the problem. But, until they either change the playoff system, which we know they're not going to do, then I think they have to take a harder line with it. I mean, and the last couple of years, you've seen them suspend guys for on-track incidents and at the same time be inconsistent when it comes to the right hooking, right? We talked down here about Cindric at Coda. Right hooked someone. He hooked a guy again this weekend, but
Austin Dillon last year.
Yeah, I mean Austin Dillon, like they set up a precedent there with him, with Bubba, that there's a line that you can get up to, and if you cross it, there has to be a penalty. So I just think if they start sitting guys down, that's when it really starts to affect them because the money doesn't mean anything, the points don't mean anything, like we've said on here, like. Drivers have said the worst feeling in the world is watching your car on TV and your name isn't on it. Like, it's the worst feeling in the world, and it's a bad look on you. It looks bad on the organization, the team, the sponsors, everyone. And that's the one thing everyone cares about across the board. So, like, Kyle Larson, it hypothetically did something wrong. Like, you take his points, his money, even if you take a win back, like, it doesn't matter. He's probably going to get another one, right? But if you say, okay, well, you're not on the car this week, we're going to have to put Allgaier in the car because you're suspended, he's going to care about that. And every driver in the field cares about that. So I'm the opposite. Yes, I know NASCAR is going to mess it up because that's who they are. But considering the factors that we have to deal with, I just feel like you have to take the ball out of their hands because it's clear they're not going to do. You're not going to let them fight on pit road anymore either, which is another thing. Like, all right, maybe if you got your jaw socked, you wouldn't do it again. But there's just no consequences that matter at this point.
Bonte.
It's a fucking joke, man. It's really, I'm serious. Like, I don't understand. Like, the fuck you, small language, but like, the fuck you need to literally rack him on purpose just to win. For what? You could have did Joy Logano bump and run from Martinsville back in 2018. You could have done that, but instead you want to full wreck him like Austin did it from last year. I swear, man, these drivers is getting out of control. Hell, I'm on Twitter, I see every driver pissed. Yeah, including Bubba too. Every driver was pissed, and rightfully so, because that's unacceptable. But I guess drivers gonna keep doing this, but this is just too much. Races was mid as usual. They gave the worst dude, Mr. Austin Hill, the win. Wreck your own teammate to the race is mid. It was just unacceptable.
One thing though that Carl, you made a good point about this is 10 years in the making. The only way it will really change is if you make every race matter, because if you were to, even if you go back to like an original chase format, still at least every race in the regular season is going to mean something. So it's like, okay, I can do that, but hey, second place points, that's still pretty good. I'm still going to be in good shape. Whereas now, like you said, everything's just winning, you're in. NASCAR put them in a box where it's like, is this do or die mentality? If you win, you're in the playoffs, you can race for a championship. And if not, you may never get an opportunity to go for a win again. And, like you said, there's a huge monetary bonus that comes with that. And we saw Harrison Burns jump from like 30th, 34th or whatever to now 16th. I mean, it's millions of dollars we're talking about. So I really think that is the only way that it will truly stop. Because, I mean, I feel like deja vu. I think we were here last year talking about with trucks, the way they were driving. And the year prior, again, it was Martinsville, I think, with Xfinity. So it's like every year we're seeing more and more examples of how a win in your end format just brings out the worst in drivers. It's like a shark smelling blood, or it's like a bull seeing red. It just turns these drivers and take their brains out and throw it out and just says, fuck it. I don't give a damn. If I make it, I make it. If not, you're going to die.
Well, I mean, yeah, precisely. I mean, and I mean, it's just, I mean, we saw it, Bonnie talked about Austin Hill. I mean, I don't think you would ever think that, okay, like cards are down, like pay windows open, as Clint Boyer loves to say, which I hate that saying now. I wouldn't mind Clint Boyer if he wasn't like a pull string dog at the same 10 catchphrases.
How's that?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, dude, I'm serious. It's like Toy Story. Somebody's pulling on Woody. Somebody poisoned the watering hole. Anyway, but I mean, and like even then, we were like, surely he's not going to wreck his teammate. Like, come on, like some things should be sacred, and nope, man, that absolutely happened. And you know what, man? Props to Austin Hill for saying like, hey, I said some things that heat a moment a couple years ago I shouldn't have said. Me and Sheldon are cool now, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, nothing is sacred anymore. And it just comes down to, it comes down to like every moment is just, it has to be a playmaker moment. There's no settling anymore. And I mean, this is the powder keg they've created. And it's just like that line from, Remember the Titans. It's like, attitude, reflection, and leadership. And the leadership wants this. So the attitude in the lower series is exactly that.
Before we move forward, anybody else have any other thoughts on Xfinity?
I can't wait when we come back in the fall, what that's going to be like. If they're racing like the way they race now, Lord, give me strength when they come back here.
It's going to be a mess.
I can almost, if FanDuel gave me the option to bet, will the same thing happen again in the fall? Yes.
Oh yeah, especially when it's during playoff time. Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm taking that bet. Easy money.
I would too. You ain't wrong. I would too.
I know he's not here this evening, so I just wanted to give a huge shout out to our co-host and our counterpart this weekend, Peyton, for helping me out at Martinsville. Got some crazy shots Saturday, and we went crazy yesterday. So moving on to the Cup race at Martinsville, Peyton and I were there. Saw a lot of people, waved to a lot of people, kissed a lot of babies, shook a lot of hands, downed lots of glizzies. More on that later. But
yeah.
What'd you say, Carl?
I kept checking the pod account yesterday, and from my account, and I was with my girlfriend, and I was explaining to her like how we had like credentials and what a good job Peyton was doing. And she was like, I don't think you'd be able to pay attention that long to be doing all that. I'm like, no, absolutely.
God dang, bro.
She's like, I think I think you probably would have like gotten kicked out by now. Like, probably so.
Damn.
It's not that hard to behave. You just don't have any couth.
I
anyway.
agree with her.
None
with her.
whatsoever. Yeah, none whatsoever. And so.
But I guess I'll let you guys explain how good it looked on TV because it was fire in person. It all came down to Denny Hamlin breaking his 10-year winless streak at the Clip and takes home the win in dramatic fashion. He laid down a beatdown. Belt was to ass. He gave a damn near half-mile long burnout to celebrate, adding another clock to his house in this trophy room, and also picking up the Xfinity fastest lap. Denny Hamlin wins at Martinsville. Questions, comments, concerns. Let's talk about it. Vontae, I'll let you go first. Talk to us. What do you think of the Cup race?
Better than Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
Am I wrong though?
Do you have a take, sir? Are you going to expand your thoughts?
Shut up.
Everything can't be compared to Saturday. The truck race was worse than Saturday. The Cup race was better than Saturday.
How about you shut up and let me speak? Thank you.
He said, "I'm here for a good time, not a long time."
Thank you.
Apparently.
Thank you, Art.
That's not a compliment on a
Fans like Rex and shit.
Well, I don't give a fuck. Let me speak. The race was no, it was a clean race. I enjoyed it. Shut up, Carl. It was a clean race. Thought it was pretty cool. Happy for Denny. Laid down those the asses. Well, how many laps he laid? Like 217, something like that.
274, yeah.
274. Wow. Ain't that? Yeah, that's probably most out of any Martinsville race. No. Anyways, but other than that, laid down. Joey and Ross was getting to his. Well, they didn't really get to it, but almost got into his usual. Anyways, who else? Oh yeah, Ty Gibbs getting mad. Tyler. I don't know why, but okay. But I thought it was a cool race. Pretty fun to watch.
Art, what did you think of the Cup race?
I'm glad you went to me because I wanted to say I think the record is 300 laps led.
Was that Kyle Busch?
No, it's Terry Labonte. See, it's too old for you. You don't know nothing about that.
And see, that's also when
both
Martinsville races were both 500 laps and not just the fall race. So that was a true ass whipping. But
that would have been Byron. I thought Byron 22 would have been.
I thought it was Kyle Busch 2016 because he did the most laps there.
Well, that's what Wikipedia says, and they've never been wrong, so I'm gonna go with that.
All right.
I feel like this was a pretty solid race. I was actually a bit surprised. I mean, I think this was a bit of a winner's bias. I saw on Jeff Gluck's poll, it was 50-50, and I was like, what? What do you mean 50-50? To me, this was a solid race, given the context of the car that we have. I think it's better. I feel like it was definitely a step in the right direction. I hate using that line because it feels like a cop-out whenever you hear any piece of media or anything referred to as a step in the right direction. But I feel like this legit was. It was still a bit hard to pass. I think it was hard for people to get around the leader. I think that was one reason why Denny was so dominant. It's really, really hard to pass for the lead. It's not impossible, just really, really, really difficult. But watching him, Bubba, and Chase Elliott battle on all those restarts late in the race was really fun. So yeah, I think that was a solid race, honestly. It wasn't ass whooping though. I mean, you look at the stats, the numbers don't lie. I mean, he took it to him, and I just feel like there was nothing you could do outside of a flat tire, mechanical failure, or something to catch Denny. They just had it dialed in perfectly, and he's really, really good at Martinsville. I know they talked about him on the broadcast several times about it's been a decade since he won here, but he's so good at this track. I remember watching him one time in person here, 2 years ago maybe, and he started, I don't know, 20th on the restart, and Bubba was maybe right behind him, and he just took right off and just in 75 laps sliced at the field top 5. Bubba was still like 15th maybe. Like, he's just really, really good here. So yeah, I'm fine with the win. I'm happy with it. I thought Chase might have had something for him late. Maybe he was saving his stuff, but that wasn't the case. So yeah, it was a good race. I liked it.
Yeah, it was Peyton and I were talking during the race, and he's like, man, the 9 car is the one to beat. and somebody put out some racing analytics, and it said that had the race gone green the whole time, Chase would have won by like a country mile. But I just feel like on that last run, he just burned his stuff up trying to catch Bubba, and then by the time he got there, it was murder she wrote for his tires, and he just fell back. Carl,
What's up, man?
what'd you think of the Cup race?
This car still struggles with flat ovals, flat short ovals. I think that was really indicative yesterday because even Chase Elliott with newer tires couldn't really make the outside work. So we still have, kind of ways to go on that, unfortunately. But besides that, I mean, it seemed like the tires wore, and that was nice. It's nice to see that we have tires that, actually, like so leave rubber down. I know it's been a struggle the last, handful of years, 5-6 years of doing that. Besides that, the race got a little bit silly sometimes, but I was like, oh, here we go, another classic. We're gonna have 27,000 yellows here at the end, and that didn't happen. They had a little bit of a wacky period. They calmed down, and we got a decent finish. Denny just put Bell's asses. I will say a couple things I was disappointed in. I was a little bit disappointed in Ty Gibbs. I know that he's frustrated. I know that his year's not going the way that he wants it to go, and I think they're 34th in points. I know they're 34th in points. I looked it up yesterday, but man, I mean, that was just a racing deal, and for you to get that mad about it with Tyler, I don't know, man, and I just kind of feel like we've been having to make excuses for Ty for a long time, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, and I'm kind of over that a little bit. That, and I'm a little disappointed in Denny Hamlin. I have to admit, as a Kyle Busch fan, there was kind of a period of time, 2016, 2017, where it was kind of the end of the, of the rowdy villain era, and people kind of started to really, root for him, and he kind of leaned into that a bit, and it was like, he kind of became a bit more favorable with fans, and I feel like, there were more cheers than boos on Denny for Sunday, which was very unusual. And then he still had to do the world versus the 11. And I was like, come on, dude. Read the room, man.
You gotta have some personality. What you mean?
Nah, that's fine. There's personality and there's being a pompous ass. I mean, and Danny was definitely being kind of a pompous ass about it. That was like when we went to dinner Saturday night, and there was this guy that was telling this waiter, how much money he makes. So we're trying to make him feel bad, and that kind of what Denny Hamlin felt like to me in that moment. And, I don't know. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. I mean, it was cool to see him win, cool to see Progressive win. I know that was a big ordeal going into the year on everybody was like, well, hell, the 11 ain't got a sponsor. He may have to pack it up this year. And they land a whale of a sponsorship with that. So that was cool. But yeah, besides the 23-11 corner, I was just happy with the product on track. It seemed pretty good, and I wasn't disappointed that I watched about 3/4 of that race. So, which is saying a lot. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Brother,
Did you hear Mike Joy at the end of the race?
He
was like, "Really?"
I was howling because that was so funny. I'm so glad they caught the audio on the clip that Fox posted on Twitter. Because I was like, nothing captivated my reaction to that more. Because he got out of the car and people were cheering for him, and I was like, "That's what? Maybe nature's finally healing after all." Because earlier in the weekend, people who I had seen doubt Bubba were like saying, "Well, they're kind of fast now," and then that happened, and I was like, "Okay, maybe things are going back to the way they should be." And then he did that, and I was like, "Oh, brother." So.
He's an Ohio State fan now. It's Ohio State versus the world.
No, brother.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, well.
Jet.
All right. So I didn't get that whole 11 against the whole world thing until someone explained it to me. I did think that was a bit weird, but I was like, oh, okay. I mean, so a fan gave it to him, so I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Okay, I'll take it back. I'll walk it back a little bit then.
I mean, so I was like, okay, I get it. You kind of had to do it, but at the same time, I was like, it was a little bit corny, but that is Denny, so I'm kind of like not surprised he did that. As for the race itself, I thought it was all right. You know, I wasn't, my expectations weren't too high. I mean, I was worried that it wasn't going to be as good as the last fall. I felt like just because it's 100 laps less, and with the tire, you need to have a real long green flag run to get something out of these tires. But I did enjoy some of the strategy that was happening, you know, with some drivers trying to short pit, you know, to like gain an advantage on tires. I thought Denny did a masterful job on, you know, being able to maintain his lead. I think, you know, what he did at stage 2, I think it was with Chase Elliott. I don't know if he was purposely trying to save his tires, let Chase close in, and then hit the gas at the end. I think he did the same thing with Bell on the final stage, just let Bell kind of just get in a little bit, save his stuff, and then, you know, start building his lead in the closing laps. So I did enjoy how Denny kind of, you know, was able to hold his ground. For Ty Gibbs, I gotta say this: calling Tyler little fucker when y'all both the same height.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Y'all are both a below average height, and you're calling him a little fucker when he's older than you, and I think the same height as you. It's like, come on, man. Like, I get it. He's having a bad year, but it's just like when he said that, I was like, brother, first off, I feel like Tyler would whoop you. All right. But it was interesting. You know, some of the feuds that was happening with Buescher and Gregson, you know, Cindric, you know, reverting back to his terrorist ways and trying to take out Herbs, which I don't know why Herbs is still in that 35 ride still. But I thought it was all right. Like, I think like it did the job. Like, I didn't, you know, there wasn't anything I didn't leave anything mad about or anything like that. Happy for Denny. But it's just got to keep pushing with his tires. Like, I hate saying the same thing over and over again after these types of races, but it's like, got to keep pushing on this tire. Got to keep pushing. We can do more. We can do better than this, because we know NASCAR ain't going to do a damn thing with horsepower. So it's like, we're kind of stuck with Goodyear having to fix everything. And yeah, if we could just find a way, whatever they did, what Denny said, you know, whoever PP'd in that tire compound in Bristol, find a way to do that for every single short track, and we'd be good.
Yeah, somebody definitely got fired over that Bristol tire. It's a damn shame. They should have their job back.
What a day that was.
Yeah.
It was like I said, it was a great race in person. You could really see a lot of cars could carry speed through the middle of the corner. But just sort of to your point, Jet, without the horsepower to take the run, you're sort of choo-choo train.
SOL, yeah.
It's kind of sucks, but good on Denny. Glad he won. Martinsville is a home-ish track for him since he's from Richmond. But I think a cool stat, and I would please if I'm wrong when we put this out, tell me. But I think last year Denny won in Mavis' second race, and he did the same thing this year with Progressive. He won in their second race, which is kind of cool. There's nothing that would probably make you happier as a sponsor to know that your investment cashed. He was out front the entire time. TV showed him the whole time in Cha-Ching, Flow, and Victory Lane. So that's good for the sport. I'll say if you bring in new sponsors in and you can immediately cash them out on their investment, more power to them. Let's do it again. It was a great race weekend overall. I can complain all day and stand up here and bitch and moan about the tires, but nobody's going to listen. And even where Goodyear does, they still don't do what I asked of them, which is fine. I appreciate you listening. Do you think it was so? Apparently, this compound was the option, but they didn't give a softer option because this was the softest tire that Goodyear says that they can make with the current legal chemicals that they're allowed to put in the factory. Do you all think that is it a good decision? Like, do you feel like the tire did what it needed to, or do you think that there's still more work to be done compound wise? I know that we've voiced our opinions on staggering and tires and sizes and all that stuff, but do you think that NASCAR and Goodyear made the decision not to go option and just this is the softest thing they can do without it being unsafe?
Yeah. I mean, they're doing all they can, and I think we're just at the point now where it's just I mean, this is what we got. And until we get more horsepower, I mean, it's just not going to matter because what was it last year or 2022 where they were like, oh yeah, Joey's SOL, he didn't pit for tires at Martinsville, and it didn't even matter. Well, wait, what it was?
Yep.
It was
No,
it was
it didn't matter.
it was 22 or 23. It was one of the first two next gen years that happened. So I mean, at least there was that. And the reason Chase Elliott was so much faster than the rest of the field, granted he couldn't pass, was because of the difference in tires, and so that softer compound does have a benefit to it. But I mean, yeah, you can do tire fall offs as all you want to until you help increase lateral grip. The cars can't move around anymore. So what's the point? But yeah, I mean it's a step in the right direction. But I mean you're just not. It's only halfway there. You're only putting one foot out, not both of them. So
I mean, I feel like the only time you could really see a difference was on the last run, Joey got tires that were maybe 50 laps, 75 laps newer, and he was able to drive back up to the field and get a top 10. But like, it has to be an extreme. Like, that is the extreme end of the spectrum when it comes to tires. Like, there's never going to be a scenario where you're that wide a distance other than you try to stretch it, it doesn't work or something like that. Like, it's better. Like there was a little bit of slipping, and I feel like people were able to make some passes and get through the field. Denny obviously, but like Chase, Bubba, they were able to get up through the field. You saw some cars that started up front, like Logano, Bell, who just get trapped back. Bowman got trapped in the field; they couldn't drive through. So I do think it's, like I said, I think it's better, but you're grading it on a curve, for the record. Like, you're grading this on a huge curve. This is not a great Martinsville race in my lifetime of fandom, but it was a good Martinsville race in the Gen 7, and those are two very different standards. So I'm trying to be more optimistic with it. But yeah, I mean, I think the grip is a problem. The shifting is still a problem, right? The horsepower obviously is still a problem. I mean, I want them to be able to spin out coming off the corner if they don't manage the throttle well. Like, that's what it needs to get to. But until they do that or change the gear ratios or something, this is about as good as I think we're going to get. I don't know why they didn't bring both tires either. Yeah, that feels like that would have made more sense, at least to have as like another card to play. But
I thought I was wrong. I thought they brought the same tire they used at the last fall Martinsville race, or like did they use the tire that they brought with Phoenix?
It was the Phoenix soft tire.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I mean, if this is the softest that they can legally go to, then it's like this is like you said, Arthur. We're kind of stuck with this unless NASCAR adds horsepower, because you taking off inches off the spoiler, you taking off the diffuser, that ain't gonna do nothing. They're not traveling at high speeds enough to where that's gonna matter really. It's either get more horsepower or this is all we can do, because you can't change the ratio of the size of the tire. I think it's like an 18-inch tire. You can't change that because the next gen was built around an 18-inch tire. So, I mean, I don't know. You're kind of stuck with this unless you add some horsepower to it. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else Goodyear could do. I mean, I do believe they can maybe do more, because I think they said last year or the year prior, oh, this is all we can do. This is all we can go. And then they bring a softer tire. And then they said, oh, that's the softest we can do. And then they brought another one. So I do think that they can push it. Maybe they don't want to just because it's going to cost a lot more. I don't think they want to spend the money personally. But I do think that there is another level they can go to.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we've heard that a lot. No, I was just going to agree with them. I feel like we've constantly been told, hey, this is the edge. We can't do any further. Like, it's impossible. And then 18 months later, they show up with something that's softer or it's adjusted. It's like, as you said, it's about the resources and the money, right? Like, if NASCAR was like, here's a bottomless pit, give me a tire that'll shred in 50 laps, they could do it. Like, it could be done, right? Like, I hate the dialogue that sometimes we hear when it comes to like these changes with NASCAR. And I'm not going to turn this into a next gen bash session, but like, it's possible. I just want everyone out there at home, if you're a casual fan wondering about like, are these changes, they're very possible. It's just about money being allocated and how badly you want to do the changes. Is it easy? No, but we're not trying to build rockets on Mars. Like, we're trying to make a race car tire shred quicker. Like, it's possible.
Y'all know my motto. Hashtag moist Martinsville. Let's put them rain
Get
tires
the
out there,
fuck
get a water
outta
truck.
here.
And let's get it done,
Anyway,
baby.
moving on.
Let's get it.
Jeez. We never liked
Y'all
it.
are haters. The rain
No,
tires work
it's
to
everything's
perfection.
your
I'm sorry.
fault, Jared. So
The wet tires work to perfection at Richmond, and then he who shall not be named, because I almost name dropped him, went and complained on Twitter, and that's why Richmond doesn't have races anymore. But more on that later. Let's move to 23-11 quarter.
I'm lost.
I'm not going down that road. I'll say that for later because I had to sit. Never mind. 23-11 corner. Decent day for the trio over there. Riley just did not have a good race weekend.
Yeah, that's why I left.
Bubba finished third. Tyler finished 14th. Riley finished 32nd in the Lucy Breakers car. Man, oh man, we've been saying it all season. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you, Denny, Curtis Polk, and Michael Jordan for that pit crew training session. They also snagged the Hendrick pit coach. I don't know if y'all saw that signing too.
yeah,
They are investing in this team, and the investment is fucking working. Denny was behind Bubba in the points, so Bubba drops down to 8th in the point standings currently. But overall, pretty good race weekend. Tyler hates Martinsville, so they were talking about, I was like, the middle of stage 3. And Tyler's like, yeah, man, fuck this shit. I'm ready to Darlington. And then I guess his crew chief fans like, yeah, man, we'll just focus on next week. He was not having a good time. He hates Martinsville. But yeah, it was Bubba's cooking. Picker's cooking. Cooked chef. And I think he's faster at Darlington than his cohorts. We'll find out in a couple of days. What are y'all thoughts on 23-11 corner? Art, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think this is one of those weeks where it kind of reinforces the idea of the balance between Tyler and Bubba. Like, I think on raw speed, at maybe a mile and a half or some tracks, Tyler might be better. Like, Tyler's definitely got him licked when it comes to road courses, but I think it's just a reminder that when it comes to these short tracks, like, it's not easy, right? Like, these are very technical, very challenging tracks, and to go out there and make all those shifts and handle as many laps as you have to run around Martinsville, it takes a certain level of skill and focus. And I mean, I think Bubba cooked all weekend. Like you mentioned, he's teed it up with the crew and everything. I just think it goes to show, again, like I said, Tyler has always struggled at this track. He's never been good here. One day I think he can be. Like, he's talented enough to figure it out one day, but it just goes to show, like, these guys have different strengths and they help each other get better at those two things. That was great to see. Another third place finish was encouraging, right? I think this is, again, a case kind of like Homestead, where you had an A car, but you lost to an A+ car. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to tip your hat to the A+ car. And yeah, for Riley, brother, just turn the page, bro. It's like, burn the notebook and keep it moving, because this was one to forget for sure. He spun out twice, I think, as well, didn't he? At least twice, I feel like.
Yeah.
He got hit. He got moved. One time.
He had a couple incidents.
It was like, hey, you in the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the team is overall performing well, and I only want to win. That's all I care about. You give Bubba a win. That's like I said to us in the chat afterwards. Some people were happy about Denny win. I'm like, hey, look, I'm glad it's Denny, but there's only one car I want to win every week. Like, I don't care about the rest of them.
Yeah, could not care less, honestly.
But I'm happy that they're performing well. I mean, they made changes throughout the race. They stayed up front. They got some stage points. If you're not going to win, I'd rather do this than ride around in 18th, right? So it was a really good day.
Bonte.
Just what we needed, man. Just what Bubba needed to get a good finish. The last couple finishes was not that good, but the stage point has been really helping a lot. Like, a lot. I'll tell y'all, I've been telling y'all, Charles and I keep cooking every week, man. Keep cooking. Pit crew was phenomenal. This pit crew has been clicking on. This is what we love to see. But the pace, the pace this season so far, Bubba has been outstanding. So good day, good day for Bubba. Tyler just like Art said, he ate this damn track. He ready to go to Darlington. I thought Tyler was up there like a top 10, but he's saying I'm good. Riley, just be you.
Just be you.
Damn.
We just want Riley to have a good time, man.
Yeah,
No,
just have a
you
good
are
time.
unburdened by expectations. Okay.
Just have a
Enjoy
good
the
time,
ride,
Riley.
baby.
Yeah.
Just have a good time.
Yeah. Well, for Bubba, like, first off, I'm very happy for him. To see confident Bubba. Now he's got a picker on his side. Now he's got a crew chief that is like giving him cars to win. Eventually, if you keep gnawing, eventually you're gonna bit. You're gonna get a good bite out of it. And I look at these next races coming up. I mean, let's be honest. He's been running well. I really feel like since Vegas, we've been seeing that real speed from him. I mean, didn't get the finish at Vegas, but he had that like a top 5 speed. Like you said, Art had A cars, and Miami and Martinsville got B by A plus car. But I look at these next 4 races coming up. Darlington, 1 pole there last fall, really good there. Bristol, I mean, he is good on the short tracks now, and who knows? I wouldn't be surprised to see him continue that. Talladega, we know how good he is on the super speedways. Texas nearly won there a couple years ago. Kansas won there. I mean, these next 4 or 5 races can be very, very good for Bubba. So, I said this. I would not be surprised one bit if we see him in victory lane multiple times this year. It's just, I've never seen Bubba usually after an interview, even after a 3rd place run, he's always like just dejected and just hard on himself. But this time it's like 3rd place, we got momentum, we got confidence. Go to the next one. I'm like, all right, okay, I see you, Bubba. Go after that. So I'm very excited for this next stretch of races. It's the best start he's had in his entire career. I mean, sitting 8th in points this far into a season. This is the best he's been so far, and I feel like he's only going to get better. This was, I think, the last couple races. I would argue, though, Bubba's been the better in 2311. Like, it's always been Tyler that's always been that guy, but I don't know. I look at last week in Miami, Vegas. Okay, Vegas maybe they're on par, but last week I thought Bubba was better than Tyler. I didn't hear much from Tyler last week. Same thing this week. I thought he would get a top 10. I thought he was making some moves, up through the field, got close in stage 2, I think, was, around the top 10 area. But like I think Art, you said it. Everyone's got their strengths. Next weekend is Darlington. Reddick, I'm sure he's going to ball out there. As for Riley, just keep bringing that money for 2311. And they're going through a lawsuit. They need it. Just keep bringing the money. That's all I got to say.
Bring that guap, that moolah.
There for the vibes, baby. There for the vibes. Carl, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. My phone finna die anyway, and apparently my cord don't work no more, so this ain't great.
Oh Lord.
Montez slide you when he got 6 of them.
This dude Bonte, bro, he's such a funny individual, man. But I didn't even say nothing, man. I didn't even say nothing, bro. I didn't say nothing, man. Yeah, man. I will say, it was when they signed Riley, right? I will say this. First of all, y'all are bold for saying anything negative about Tyler Reddick because, as I've learned, that is not a man you can critique. And
Careful. Careful.
Yeah. Well, that one old boy was like, "Don't you know who I am?" So hey, man, fuck it. But they signed Riley, and I was like, "Oh man, sign this dude Riley, Corey coming up, bro. Tyler in the Final Four. It's over for Daryl, man. God, I was sweating for a good 3 weeks prior to Daytona that like this might be the end, and then the 35 has just shown up with water wingers on every week and just like hopped around in the shallow end of the pool. So I don't have nothing to worry about because man, you finna. Matter of fact. Hayek, Hawk, whatever that team, the 47 team is named now. They run out of
Huck.
money. They run out of money. Huckleberry Finn Motorsports. They run out of money real quick. And Riley, you got a lot of it, man. So maybe you start talking to them because you wreck just as much as Ricky do. And Corey is coming, and I need to see for Corey. So I don't know what to tell you, man. But Bubba's running a little too good right now. I'm worried about you. Worried about that. But yeah, man. I said it. After the dual win, and even really when I kind of knew, like, okay, this year with Charles Danique, it was something different. I had legitimately zero expectations going into Bowman Gray. And then I looked down at my phone at one point, and he was like fourth. And I was like, oh, man, doing pretty good. But we've seen that before, right? He's been fourth in, like, the middle stage of a race, and then, like, in 18th or whatever. And then he finished, what, fourth or fifth? I mean, right up there at a third. Okay, I'm sorry, third. Okay, I'll give it to you. And I was like, man, that's impressive, and granted, he ran really good at the Coliseum, a couple years, and so that's not, it's to be expected. And then they go to Daytona and they won the duel, and I was like, man, this guy's, kind of new, kind of focused, and then Daytona went how it was going to go, Atlanta went how it was going to go, where'd they go? They went to Coda after Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
They switched it
Yep.
around, yeah. And then in Coda, I was really impressed, but I knew I just felt in my heart of hearts like I don't know if this is gonna last. It didn't. Okay, whatever. But besides that, I mean, this is. I have been watching Daryl since 2011, thereabouts, since the K&N days, right? And I have seen his progression through his career, and so I mean it when I say this isn't entirely. And I don't mean to focus on him, but let's just call a spade a spade. And I'm, whatever. And that's my favorite. And so and so to see him where he's at now versus 2018 when he was a rookie in Cup versus 2021 when they were just starting this program, it's a whole new driver. So much has changed for him and has gone the way it's wanted to go. And, Kevin Harvick, I believe, and maybe it was Mike Joy, said something really interesting about how this is the first time he's had a lot of people in this corner he can trust. And I believe that. That's why I was so adamant about Jerry Baxter coming to this team, because I knew Jerry Baxter was a crew chief he could trust over who he'd worked with. It didn't work out, whatever. I said to say this: he is on a great form, and it stings a little bit to see Homestead go the way it did. It stings a little bit to see, Martinsville go the way that it did. But I look back at 2021, and I was like, God, I would kill for a top 10. I would absolutely be over the moon with a top 10. And then I think of all the races, and even in that first year, Atlanta, Martinsville, Charlotte, there's a plethora of them where they were running really good.
That Charlotte race, man.
Two thirds, 3/4 of the race. Phoenix in 21 was another one, and had fuck all to show for it. So he has compartmentalized whatever that he needs to as a driver to be able to finish these things out as a top 5 car. So I think the only thing that's holding him back now is like Art said, you're in the A car getting beat by the A+ car. People wanted to squat on him last week. He finished 6 seconds behind the leaders, behind 2 Hendrick cars. Dude, what the fuck, But okay, that's like saying a rocket beat a biplane. What are you talking about?
Right.
And then he finished behind a guy that's won 3 races this year, and a guy that tied, I don't know who did he tie on the all time. Rusty Wallace all time's winless. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Carson Hocevar and dog. I don't know, Zane Smith beat him. No offense to those 2 guys, but I'm just saying, man.
Nah, offense.
No, for real.
No. I'm just saying, he's running up there with guys who are the heavyweights of the sport and contending, because there were moments where, I mean, dog, you played Kyle Larson's line against him at Homestead and it worked.
Yeah.
That's nasty, bro. That's nasty, man. And like I said, there was a period of time yesterday, man, where he was looking, like I said, really strong against Bell, and even kind of on that last restart, even kind of his boss for a minute. So, I'm beyond thrilled with that. I just really needed that next step. I just need one win. That's it. I'll shut up forever. I will never say anything else if I finally have that. Because we've been so close so many times. You talk about, Darlington in 23. You talk about Texas in 23.
Bristol
Just,
last year.
yeah, just a million, Charlotte in 23. Just a million races that they've been right there for. And it's been just one thing after another. So I just need them to finally cross that threshold. And Tyler Reddick is good every week. I guess they had an off week. I'm never concerned in 2011 corner about Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is a weekly contender. I don't have any outlying concerns about him at any point in time. If he puts down 4 or 5 stinkers in a row, then I'll come back on the show and say, maybe I was wrong about Tyler Reddick. I haven't been wrong about him yet. He won at Daytona in the BurgerFi car. That guy's pretty good. He's probably going to be good forever. I haven't been wrong yet. So, I'll leave that alone. But anyway, that's all I got for 23-11 corner.
For the first time in Bubba Wallace's career, he finishes third in back-to-back weeks. And he's led 98 laps this season so far compared to the 43 of the 45. We'll move on to Darlington and see if those increments increase. It's time for Lights Too Bright. Lights Too Bright is brought to you by our partners over at Nectar Sunglasses. Use our promo code Victory Lane Vibes to save 15% off your order on your sunnies. Let's hand some out. Bonte, for the love of God, one person. Who is your Lights Too Bright?
Oh my God.
One.
Let me speak. Thank you. Sammy Smith, obviously, because of the fuck he was doing, wrecking Taylor Gray for the win. Like literally wrecking him. Not only that, just to cause a whole big wreck behind. Including yourself, just to have Austin Hill win.
Watch that.
Shut up, Jared, and let me speak. I just don't. I don't. It just idiot. This is pure idiot. That's all I gotta say.
Good evening, everyone. It's your hostess with the mostest, Jared, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our partners over at Homefield. Have you seen by now? It's the middle of March Madness. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's rocking merch. But we're a NASCAR podcast, so we can talk about the NASCAR side of Homefield. So right now we're in Season of Speed Turn 2 with our partners over at Homefield. They have released the Hendrick collection for 2025, featuring some Cities Chevrolet pieces, featuring a couple more items from the Rainbow Warriors, in addition to more Tim Richmond Folgers merch. But my favorite part of the pieces that have recently released are the 3 stuff. So super fire, good wrench merch, the hat, the jacket, the shirt, all it's fire, all it's amazing. Head over there right now. Go to homefieldapparel.com. Use our promo code VLV25. Save 15% off your order. And just like last year, tag us in what you got. We want to see it. It looks good on us. We want to make sure it looks good on you too. So make sure you head over again to homefieldapparel.com. Use our promo code VLV25. They also have an app. You can do Klarna. You can do Shop Pay. There's no excuse. Get your merch. Tag us. Let us see it. And we look forward to seeing you guys at the racetrack. Now back to whatever we're talking about on the show.
Mm-hmm. Shut up, Jared.
Jet, who would you give your Lights Too Bright for the weekend?
Can we pick the same guy or?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the world's your oyster, big dog.
I want to say, since Bonte took Sammy Smith, he can have that. I'm gonna say Sam Mayer. Main reason is this: he said months ago that he was annoyed that he didn't get a cup ride. Everyone else getting his opportunities, he didn't get a cup ride, right? What does he do? Jacks up, I think, Christian X's tires and dumps him. It's like, and you wonder why you ain't getting no opportunities because you do bullshit like that. This ain't the first time. Again, he's in controversy in the past where he's done some stupid shit against other drivers, wrecking other drivers. So it's like, listen, you know that this is one of those races where this is your opportunity to stand out. Don't be a follower. Like, stand out. Don't try and wreck other drivers. Don't try and be part of the chaos. But no, he wants to talk about getting a cup ride and wants to jack somebody else's tires and spin them out for no goddamn reason and cause a major pileup. So, all right. When a bunch of cup guys are watching you, yeah, you should do the same shit that everyone else is doing. Yeah, do that. So that's my pick.
Wasn't that the second week in a row? Didn't he do it to Larson last week? Or was that somebody else?
He ruined Larson's restart.
Oh yeah, he
on
did.
the restart.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Larson was not happy about it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think I have to go in a different direction with my lights too bright. I gotta give it to Miss Jamie Little for stealing our line. We the hostesses with the mostesses, not Kevin Harvick. And I love you, Mama, but not Mamba either. So, Jamie, I see that you listening. Just know we out there. We see you. We peep.
That's crazy. I talked to Mamba for like 15 minutes yesterday. I completely forgot to confront him about that.
Oh man, you should have put hands on the man. They try to steal our name.
I should have asked him about that.
Our name is our name now. You can't play with that.
Carl, you like to break?
Oh hell, I don't know. I ain't got. You know what? I do have a Life's Too Bright, but you won't even believe it. You won't even believe it.
Here we go.
My Life's Too Bright goes to one of the partners over at 2311. One of the sponsors. We've never in the history of the show had a Life's Too Bright go to a sponsor, but I got one going to a sponsor. Mack Trucks. I fully understand y'all are owned by Volvo. That don't mean you got to make trucks that look like shit too. I am so disappointed. I am majorly disappointed. They have built. I got a picture of somebody sent me a picture of the new Anthem. It was down at the docks in Baltimore, wherever it was getting shipped. I don't even know, and it looks hideous. It's horrendous. How dare you, Swedish bastards, ruin an American icon like that? And I swear to God, 2311. If you start showing the track in those in a couple years, I will get. Press pass. I will get a press pass, and I'm pissing on the tires of that thing and walk away like nothing happened. I'm not kidding. Find a new lease. You got Freightliner. You got Kenworth. You say y'all take international. I don't care. Don't show up in that piece of shit. Don't do it. Because I have a problem for real. That's my Life Too Bright.
That's real beef.
That's real beef. Golly.
I've been simmering on that.
I was like, where's he going with this?
For me, I'd say my Light's Too Bright this week. It's got to go to the Penske race shop. All of their cars suffered some voltage issues because of bad alternators. Y'all don't test that at the track. I mean, at the shop.
How do you run out of batteries?
Yeah, run out of batteries.
Have one
the alternator. That's crazier.
Let me just say this too. First of all, saying I ran out of batteries sounds like you making an excuse why your car didn't work, and you didn't show up to work. Number two, isn't it a crazy ass stat that it took till Martinsville for Joey Logano to get a top 10 this year?
That's crazy.
Insane.
Almost like he shouldn't have been champion.
We're not starting that because you and I know where that's gonna go, and I don't.
Almost like he's not worthy of being the champion.
No, I mean, look, hey, I'm not saying I don't necessarily agree with you, but there are some.
Then don't be contrarian just to be contrarian. No one has to be on the other side of this.
It's two separate, but it's two. You know what I'm talking. It's two separate conversations, and you know what I'm talking about. So let's not.
I know
go
nothing. I'm legally blind.
Whatever. Okay, yeah, whatever.
We moved.
If that Martinsville race went different, you wouldn't feel that type of way. But anyway, just imagine a world where AJ Allmendinger won a 2015 Martinsville race. Anyway, That's all I got.
Well, that's Lights Too Bright. Let's go to open mic. In case you all missed it, Steve Phelps is the newly named commissioner for NASCAR. Personally, and I brought this here so I could get the panel's take. Do y'all like losing lawsuits? Because I just feel like this is the chocolate factory, and you just handed 2311 in front row the golden ticket. Personally, I think this just proves the monopoly. It's like, oh, we want to credit him to all the hard work he did. He brought us through COVID. We're experiencing growth for the first time in years. Blah blah blah. We're gonna give you a new title, promote cousin, and appreciate you. Is this gonna bite them in the behinds?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, if you can just name yourself commissioner or something, then I want to be commissioner of the Victory Lane Vibes podcast.
Reject it. Next question.
I decree it as such. I said it. It's too late.
I'll mute you. I'll mute you
Definitely
right now.
do not trust you with the banking information. So yeah,
God no. God.
We ain't got no damn money. It don't matter.
Exactly. Keep it that way. Think that way. Exactly. Keep it just that. Keep your mind right there. That's all you need to believe.
Well, none that I'm ever aware of. But then again, I don't pay attention to any conversation we have in the group text. So we could be rich for all I know. I have no clue.
Nah, keep it. No, you had it right. Keep it right there. I mean, yeah, probably, right? It kind of goes to the whole idea of like you're making the rules up as you go along. Nothing says you're making up the rules like creating a position that's never existed in the history of the sport. So, like it's just never been a thing.
And the other thing too about that is like everybody's critique of them from within the sport, right? Former drivers, press people, whoever, have all said like, there's no point in trying to be like a stick and ball sport. So why are we trying to do that? That's been the biggest critique. So then why go and do just that? There's no point in any of this besides just to make yourself look stupid. And that's exactly what they did. Anyway, I'm down to 2%. I gotta go.
Whatever.
Okay.
Look, man, I'm sorry, bro. I love y'all, but I mean, listen, Jim finna die, and I gotta make a phone call before it dies. So,
Excuses.
We end up on the couch.
Hey,
Jet, what are your thoughts on the today's announcement?
I'm gonna be a bit all over the place. 26 days ago, NASCAR attorney said about Polk about how he doesn't understand the sport, on how it may work in the NBA, it may work, in stick and ball sports, but it don't work in NASCAR. And then you go out and you try to be more like the NBA. It's like, pick a fucking side. What are you? Are you a motorsport, or are you trying to be a stick and ball sport? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to be? I definitely believe this does have a major role in the lawsuit because when I was at Homestead, I talked to a couple of people in NASCAR, and they know that NASCAR is losing this case, and so they are scrambling. And so I think it has to do with part of that. I also think it has to do with maybe potentially prepping NASCAR up for sale, because that was also been a talk about what's been going on in recent weeks. But I just don't get it. I just don't like why. Nothing's really going to change. Like, you just giving them different positions, they're still going to be doing the same thing. I don't really understand what's the reasoning of that, other than just to be like, hey guys, hey look, see, we're like the NFL, we're at the NBA, we got a commissioner too. Like, do you like us now? Are we relatable to y'all now? It's like, just stop it, please, just stop. That's really all I can say.
Bonte, what are your thoughts?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Cool. Well,
Is it still open mic or I had an open mic?
it is.
I didn't know if we were. So I wanted to give some kudos this week to someone I rarely give kudos, but I feel like they deserved it. And Jared, you weren't able to hear this because you were at the track, but we always get on here and we badmouth the Fox booth and the production and yada yada, and the production was still kind of bad. But who I want to give some credit to this week? I want to give Clint Boyer some flowers this week. He was actually real. I really enjoyed him on the broadcast this week, and I don't know, maybe it's because that he has some really fond memories of this track, and they talked about him getting a win here and with his child in Victory Lane or whatever, and all that. But not just that, but I feel like he was just really good this week, and I wish Carl was here because I'm sure he'd be rolling right now at me congratulating him. But I just feel like when he has a chance to actually be a serious race car analyst, like he's pretty good at that job. It's when they make him the pull string and all the catchphrases and the yuck all good hot rod time guy. Like that's when and it's a problem. But I liked him on the broadcast. I thought he had some really good insights. You know, he wasn't bad mouthing Bubba like he usually does. He usually gives Bubba the hell in the broadcast. So yeah, I just felt like he did a good job this week, so I just wanted to shout him out. I enjoyed that. Harvick was fine. Mike Joy was fine, but I just feel like for some reason he stepped it up this week. Maybe he heard some criticism or something, and I enjoyed his commentary. So if you're like Jarrett and you're listening and you watched it in person, go back and give it a listen. It was solid. I was happy with it.
I appreciate what their segment on talking about the Xfinity race. I appreciate the honesty about it.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
Especially Mike Joy when he said that dumpster fire. I was
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Mike. All right.
Yeah, Mike said just fuck it. I'm going to speak my truth on it. I don't blame him.
He should.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that comes to the end of the train ride. Just remind the listeners out here where they can find you to listen to your content.
So all across social media, just Jet MDK. I talk about mainly NASCAR, other motorsports, but it's mainly NASCAR. Race reviews, previews, anything about racing. YouTube and mainly TikTok. That's what I use.
YouTube and TikTok. I guess we gotta. I'll make Carl do some work. Get us a TikTok.
But then there can be 3, because according to Carl, there's only 2.
According to Carl,
3 black channels on there.
we'll have 3 back channels. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. Tell your mammies, tell your Grammys, like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch y'all after Darlington. Maybe I'll make Monte rate throwback since for the love of the scheme game.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Bad. That's happening. Let's do it.
Right.
And a lot of good ones this year.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play that game. All right. Cue my music. We'll catch y'all next week. Holla.
Yeah.